you excited to be here at GrowCon? This is my first one. So last night at the gala when they said I was Rookie of the Year, I thought, oh, maybe because I'm new at GrowCon. But anyway, today our topic is where confidence meets cash flow. The price is right. I got a call about a month ago from my daughter-in-law, Danielle, and she goes, "We're coming to Disney World." She was scrolling through Instagram and saw that picture on the left. This little boy is looking out at the castle with ears on his head, with another little cap next to it that says, "Little brother do." She has Kayla, who's not yet 2, who will not remember a trip to Disney, and she had to take that picture. That picture cost her $6,000. She has not filed her tax return for 7 years. She is behind in her mortgage, but she had to have that picture. So I thought, what does Disney World do that we are not? The average person for a low-budget Disney vacation for a family of 4 spends $8,800 for 7 days. A deluxe vacation for Disney costs $12,000. The average 42.1% of people that go to Disney make less than $35,000. Where do they get the money? They have to go. Why do they go to Disney? What is it that Disney does that we are not doing? So what if we priced like Disney, or what if Disney priced like us? How would an invoice look if you called them up and you were an accountant giving a Disney price? Hello, I'd like to have a Disney vacation. All right, well, let me ask you a couple of questions. How many rides do you plan to go on? How many ice cream cones are you going to eat? How many souvenirs do you plan to buy? How many questions are you going to ask the guests? Let me come up with the price, I'll get back to you. Do they ask those questions? No. They ask, what kind of experience do you want? What are you celebrating? Why are you coming? What magical experience do you want to have? So what if we did that? What if we became Disney to our clients? Because are clients buying transaction counts? Are they buying bank recs? That's what they get. But is that what they're buying? No. So my name is Debra Kilsheimer. I'm a partner behind the scenes financials with my husband, Harold. We've been in business for over 20 years now. I've been doing accounting since I was this big. My dad was an accountant, and he did not like sports. So for fun, my dad took me in the basement and taught me how to do taxes. That's how I spend time with my dad. And I'm also the co-host of a podcast and YouTube channel called Bookkeepers on Fire. So I hope you all get out your iPhones and like, subscribe, and share, because my co-host Donna Reed is home. She's looking at the count. She wants it to go up. So if you would be kind enough to like our podcast, I would really appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about The Price is Right. We're going to talk, what does Disney do? What do we do? What are the 3 pillars that give you pricing power? There are 3. It's you, it's your customer, and it's your offer. And then we're going to discuss value. So what does Disney do when you call up for a vacation? They talk about the experience that you're going to have. They give you one price for everything that you're going to do. They price it based on the feeling that you're going to get, the memory that you're going to make. They don't charge you per ride, $5 for a regular ride, $10 for Tron. They don't charge you $1 for each question. They don't charge you a cleanup fee and a maintenance fee. What do we do? Well, how many transactions do you have? Well, that's $2 a transaction. Oh, how many bank accounts do you have? Well, that's $50 a bank account. Oh, for a month-end review, that's another $150. That's how we price, isn't it? Right? Who prices like that? All of us. Because I know you do. I see you on Facebook. Well, they have this many bank accounts, this many transactions. I think it's going to take me this long. I want you to start pricing the experience and the transformation you're going to make for your customers. Talk about the peace of mind, the clarity, and the growth that you can help their company achieve. Talk about less stress, more freedom. They will be free now to build the business that they want to build by engaging your services and investing in their business by hiring you. Confidence and in the results that you're going to produce. So what does Disney do? They do all of these things. You know, Disney create a tribe. We are all a tribe here at GrowCon. Disney has a tribe. You know, there's a tribe at Disney called Club 33. Club 33, you have to be invited to get in. And in Orlando, it costs $35,000 to join it. And you have to maintain it with a $15,000 annual membership. And you know what you get? You get admission to the parks, you get a lounge in each park, and you still have to pay for all your meals and your drinks. And there's a waiting list. They have created a brand and a tribe that delivers. You all know about Disney. We need to Disneyfy our businesses so people want to do business with us. Not have to, want to. Makes all the difference. Because what do? We're boring. When you talk about it, when I was married to my first husband, I learned on the first one so I could trade him for a better model. He was a reporter for the Orlando Sentinel. We would go to a party, and he was kind of dull as dishwater. He was a brilliant guy, genius, but he was not very interesting to talk to. So he would say, well, what do you do? Well, I'm a reporter with the Orlando Sentinel. And people just lit up. Oh, blah, 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 you know, talking to him. They say, well, what do you do, Debbie? Oh, I'm a CPA. Oh, can I deduct this? I was most popular on April 14th. So I thought, what does he have that I don't? Accounting has a reputation of being dull, boring. Now, I know we're not, but they don't. We need to change that so people want to have our services. So we talk in jargon that they don't understand, and we motivate by fear. Oh, if you don't do this, the IRS is going to come get you. You better do this or the state's going to come calling. Oh, you're going to be in trouble. You know, fear motivation is the most fleeting type of motivation. How many of you drive a car and you speed? I know you go faster than the speed limit. When you see a policeman up ahead, what do?
Slow down as fast as he's going?
Yeah. You slow down. And as soon as the policeman, you think he's out of range, you speed up again. Fear motivation is fleeting, but achievement motivation is lasting. So what you want to do is turn your clients, don't try to fear motivate them, you want to achievement motivate them. What will we accomplish by us working together? So there are these three pillars of pricing. There is you, there is your customer, and there is your offer. They are buying you, your confidence, your personality, and your leadership. You are leading them to success. The customer, know what they want. Speak their language. Create an emotional buy-in. And then their offer. Design a signature process. In my firm, this is how we do it. We use QuickBooks Online. If you want to have me do your payroll, we use ADP. If you want to have us do the bill pay, we use Bill. Do you see what I have specific apps that I use. So if they come to me and say, well, we use Xero, not my client. Unless you want to switch to QuickBooks Online, I can't help you. I learned this when I first was starting out with Hal. We got a call from a CPA in town. There was a bookkeeper that was in hospice. She had 6 clients that needed help today. I met with the CPA, and he goes, well, they really need help now. I said, well, what are they using? Well, they use Peachtree. I'd never seen Peachtree. Oh, Peachtree. Well, I'm a QuickBooks girl. So I went and met every one of them. Let's see if I can help, at least get them through the crisis. And I walked in and I said to them, well, we're a QuickBooks shop. Every single one of them said to me, I don't care what you use, I just need the job done. That taught me, wait, I'm in charge. I decide what to use. They want me, they get this. And that was over 20 years ago. So you decide the platforms, the apps, the processes that you will use. If you don't follow my processes, I can't help you. Everybody wants to know how to do $1 million with over 2.5 people. That's how. I actually went down to my room last night and figured out exactly my average price per client, what I do, and I showed somebody earlier. That's not very much, I know, but I'm streamlined. I'm streamlined. So you are the magic maker in all this. The most important pillar of these three is you. If you don't believe you deserve this, you will never get it. Ever. So the first thing you have to do is work on you. I deserve to be paid for what I do. This is the difference I'm going to make in people's lives. They're not going to tell me what to charge. And we have these limiting beliefs, which I wrote down. We think it's not fair to charge that much. Ever say that to yourself? Well, it's fair to, this is what I want you to reframe it as. It's fair to be paid for the value that I bring. Fair doesn't mean free. How many of you say this? Well, I'm too new to charge these kind of prices. Everyone starts someplace. Your fresh perspective is valuable, and you deliver results. No one will pay that. The right people will. How many of you buy Starbucks coffee? There's a Wawa next door. You can get the same thing for $1. What does Starbucks do that Wawa doesn't? Starbucks writes your name on a cup. People buy Starbucks coffee for $10 instead of going next door for Wawa. It's not the money. Well, it only took me an hour. It took you an hour because you know what you're doing. It took you, I'm going to be 69 at the end of the month. I can't believe it. It took me 40 years to get this good, to do it this quickly, this efficiently, this effectively. You have invested time, money, and energy to be able to do it at the speed you do. So don't discount the education you have so you can do it quickly. Well, I wouldn't pay myself that. Yeah, because you're your worst client. My worst client is my husband. He says, I wouldn't pay. When I come home and tell him what I just got a new client for, he can't believe it. My best one was I came home one day. I had a client that was, we live in Port Orange, Florida, and we have a neighborhood in our town called the Spruce Creek Fly-In. People don't have cars in their garages. They have airplanes in their garages. So I went and met him. I said, well, what are you looking for in an accountant? Well, I want somebody that does it accurately, effectively, and will respond to it when I want. And I said, well, why do you like to have your own airplane? He goes, my time is too valuable to wait in line at airports. So he has a $2.5 million airplane in his garage, so he doesn't have to get frisked at TSA. So I'm thinking to myself, if I don't charge enough for this guy, he will not think I'm any good. So I thought, if I got $3,500, that would make me really happy. He only had 2 bank accounts and 2 credit cards. He had like zippity-doo-dah sales, but he wanted somebody to track the stuff. So I thought, okay, maybe if I said to him, well, my fee is only $6,000 a month. Oh, okay. I'm thinking to myself, that's $72,000 a year. So I go home and I tell Hal. I go, well, I got the job. Oh, how much is he paying you? Your minimum price of $850? No, he's paying me $6,000. How'd you get that? I said, because I looked what was valuable to him, and I went for the shot for the moon. What's the worst that could have happened? He goes, no, I really only want to pay $3,000. Okay. Well, I guess for you, I'll do it. All right. Well, that means I'm not going to be able to do this, whatever. But it was my confidence and my ability in what I did that I brought to that. Your personality. You be you. You be an authentic you. Don't be me. Don't be your neighbor. Be you. They're buying you. Your leadership. Lead the process. Lead it. That's important. Give certainty in what you do. Then the client. They're the star of the show. Why did they call you? They think they're buying a bank rec, bookkeeping, what is that? No, they're buying peace of mind, clarity, know what they want. How many of you know what your clients want? Good. Do they want more time with their kids? Do they want to be on the golf course more? And that changes over time. When I was a new accountant, I wanted to be at home with my new kids. As I got older, I wanted to save money for retirement, and I wanted to buy a beach condo. As the age I am, I now want to spend time with my 5-month-old granddaughter. Things change. Find out what changes in their life. Be in touch. So time with their kids, confidence in their business, the business that is what they want. Speak their language. No jargon. Ask them about their business. Tell me, why did you start this business? What do you want to achieve? If you knew you could not fail, what would you do? Create an emotional buy-in. Tell stories of other successes you've had by people working with you. Now here's what we use, here's the offer that we give to clients. Well, we're going to enter your transactions, we're going to reconcile your accounts, we're going to file your taxes, we're going to look behind us to see how you did last year. You know, I'm going to do your balance sheet and your income statement. I'm going to answer any questions. I might get back to you when I can, and if you get my one package, I'll get back to you today. If I get my other package, I'll get back to you in 2 days, and if you get my minimum package, I'll get back to you in a week. How exciting is that? Would that inspire you? Would you want to buy from you? Or would this? We're going to give you financial clarity into your business. We're going to make sure your bookkeeping, your records are up to date and accurate. We're going to give you the timely reports. Reports are the answers to your financial questions that you're asking. We need to communicate so I know what answers do you want. What is it you want to know about how your business runs? We think that a balance sheet and a profit and loss are important. They are. But is that what's important to them? I have one client, that airplane guy, that gets a profit and loss and a balance sheet. Everybody else doesn't get one. They're there if they want them. They have other questions that they want answers to. What's my best-selling product? Which day of the week do I have my highest sales? How did I do last Christmas? When Bike Week's coming, I live in Daytona Beach area, you know, Bike Week, what do we do in Bike Week? How can we plan for that better next year? Answer their questions through the reports that you produce. Cash flow visibility, you know, strategic guidance. What is it you want to achieve? Even bookkeepers who don't think they know, you know, can give tax planning. You can. You can look at their profit and say, you better put some money aside. You're making a lot of money. Put some money aside. You're doing good. This thing about, let me save you taxes, I say, no, when you come to me, my goal is to have got a big, fat tax check at the end of the year. And there's one way I have come up with that we can get out of you paying no income tax at all. Oh, what's that? I said, well, in December, we're going to sit down and look at your profit. And I'm going to create an invoice for that profit, and you're going to pay me your profit. You'll pay no tax. I'm happy to pay the tax. I've never had anyone take me up on that offer. But they get it. I'm telling stories so they get it. You're going to have peace of mind. You're going to be compliant, confident. I will make sure that anything that we need to take care of, you'll know about. How many of you remember the thing called BOI? Call them up. We got to do this BOI thing. Oh, guess what? We don't have to do it. Oh, guess what? It's back on. But we told the clients that right, your head's spinning like, oh my, I don't even know what we have to do now for it. But we kept them informed of what's going on. It's audit ready, meaning if the IRS comes a knocking, the books are in good enough shape that we can justify any expense that we have. And then you'll have time and headspace to create the vision you want for your business. Now, isn't that a better way to offer than how we're doing it now? I'm going to reconcile your bank account. So let's talk about value. What is value? Value is what you're willing to pay for something. My other daughter-in-law, Bunny, I call her Bunny, she went to the Hermes store. We met her for lunch. Look what I just got. She had this bracelet on. It was only $800. I wouldn't pay $1 for it at a yard sale. I said, well, what do you like about it? Well, it's from Hermes. It had value to her, didn't have value to me. So what's valuable to somebody else is not valuable to you. You have to find out what they value. How do you do that? You ask them questions. Tell me what's important to you. If you knew you could not fail, can you imagine? In 5 years, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself next year? How can I help you get there? So you talk about value. What is it? It's the things that are important to them. And 85% of clients say they would pay for more clarity and predictability in their pricing. I have a little video. I thought that was hilarious. And nobody laughed. Didn't you love that? Well, I'm laughing inside. Isn't that the question when they ask us, we panic? Well, what do you charge? We can help them with their sales tax problems, with everything that they do, their IRS problems, everything. But they ask us, how much do you charge? We don't know what to say. We don't know what to say. So how do we calculate price? So I want you to think about this. If you got a job at Disney World, the minimum rate there to be paid is $18 an hour. If you worked 8 hours a day, you would make $144. If you worked 4 days during the month, you would be paid a total of anyway, do the math. You would make $7,400 and something dollars, I can't read it, $55. That translates to $624 a month. That's how much Disney's willing to pay for working 8 hours, one person, 1 day a week. How many of you are charging at least that much? You're better than working an 18-hour day Disney World. And don't give me the thing, well, it doesn't take me but 8 hours. I know, because you're good and you're smart and you use the technology tools. In Florida, the average full-charge bookkeeper makes $41,280. That's on average $3,450 per month for full-charge bookkeeping. And when I say full charge, we're not talking controllership services, which you're all doing even though you might not realize it. Looking at the balance sheet, the income statement, going over with them. That's kind of controllership stuff. We're looking at their AP, their AR. Full charge bookkeeping in the olden days when I first started was on the green ledger paper. Who remembers those days? So that's $3,440 a month if they were to hire it. Now, in clients' defense, they don't know what something like us should cost. They have no idea. They're thinking, well, I can go on a Craigslist and get somebody for $15 an hour, because they don't know. We haven't shown people what we do and the difference that we can make. So when I'm talking to them and I tell them my price, they look at me like this. I go, let me put it in perspective to you. And I give them this kind of information. Oh, you're getting somebody of my caliber. And I want you to start talking about your caliber, how good you are. They do not care what certifications you have, what credibility you have, and all those things they listed I did. That's only for you guys. I don't ever advertise that to clients, but of course, I have to take that back. I had one girl call me up. She was a CPA. Well, how good are you at QuickBooks? Well, I told her. I'm top 10 pro advisor. I was top 100 pro advisor. Intuit Accountants Council. What have you done? So be confident in your abilities. They just want, can you do the job? And they have been burned in the past by hiring people who say they know QuickBooks and don't. You have all cleaned up those messes. So, of course, you want package ideas. What are your package ideas that you have? I put this in there because you all want a package idea. Now, I do have my half of employee. She's half because she only works part-time, Mary. I don't track Mary's time. I don't care how hard. I said to her when I hired her, Mary's been with me 18 years. I said, how much do you want to work? Well, I'd like to work maybe 20 hours. I said, okay. Do you think you can get this amount of work done in 20 hours a week? Yeah, I think I can do that. I said, if you don't, let me know. If it's too much, I'll take some away. If you need more, I'll give it to you. Just let me know. But I don't care when you work, what days you work. If you get everything done by the 5th of the month, take the rest of the month off. You can work in the middle of the night like me. I want to make sure, but it has to be accurate, and it has to be on time, and it has to be right. We work under deadlines. Payroll has to be done timely. Sales tax has to be filed on time. The month-end close has to be done. We do have deadlines. So the deadlines have to be met, and I want them met correctly. So we have a lot of checklists in our office. Does it foot? Does it add? And I use Keeper to track where we are. So if she goes away, she lets me know. I say, if you need a vacation, take it. Just make sure I know so I can cover anything that doesn't need to get done. And with remote, she doesn't come to my office. She works at home. Of course, Hal says, how do I know Mary's getting the work done? He's an old guy. He thinks I'm paying for the butt in the chair. I said, no, I'm paying for the brain between her ears. So if she needs to go away, she can go away. She can do it remotely. I can go away, I can do it remotely. You're here. How many of you are working? I see you out there with your laptops, getting payroll done, answering emails. You don't have to be home. So I said, I don't care when you get it done, but I need to know that I just need to know it gets done. What I want you to track is your scope. This client has hired us to do bank recs, transaction recording, things like that. If they start asking you for things like, gee, you notice, oh gosh, they're selling something that's now subject to sales tax. All right, let's get that filed. I have a call with the client. We're going to have to add sales tax to your offering. Or I want to have payroll. Okay, great. We're going to add payroll. Now the scope has changed. If she's starting to do things like AP, AR management, okay, scope has changed. I now call up the client and we adjust the price. So she tracks scope. Not every day, but she knows exactly what the clients are supposed to be doing. So these are package ideas, and I put this in there for those of you that wanted a package. This was to make you all happy. But you see what I track? I don't care how hard she works. This is an easy job, I think. I'm not building a bridge over a river. But I have to use my brain. You have to use your brain. It takes a lot of thinking. It takes a lot of education and knowledge. Not everybody can do it. You know, I do have some homework handouts for you that you'll be able to download. The pricing mindset work homework, negative versus empowering thoughts, working with us, things you can do, benefits they'll get when you talk to your clients about how they can work together, a discovery call worksheet. So when you're talking to the clients the first time, the questions that you can ask them, these will all be downloadable to you in the app. The task versus value list. That to me is really powerful. I took every single task that we do at the micro level, listed it out, and what is the value of doing that task. I want you to start talking about the value and what that task means. You have to start changing your thinking. So is your price right? It is. Your price is right. Is it enough that you want? Do you have the confidence? My wish for you is that you start making magic for your clients and your customers, and they will in turn turn around and make magic for you. It's all about you, how you feel about yourself, what transformations you can make to the clients, and what you can offer them. It starts with you and your belief in your ability that you can do this, that you matter, that you make a difference. It grows with you as you get bigger and better in this business. Those of you that are newer at this, your confidence grows. You'll get better at it because you'll believe more in yourself. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded thinkers. We're all in this group with like-minded thinkers. We all are great and promoting each other. You ever get out in the world and you have your mom chibber-jabbering in your ear? Oh, you can't do that. My mom told me that I wasn't any good at math, and I believed her. So I never thought I could become an accountant, even though my dad taught me tax returns. Girls aren't good at math, Debbie. Oh, my mom told me. My mom's always right. Until I walked into a university one day and I said, what major will get me a job when I graduate? Well, accounting's good. All right, sign me up for that. I thought, oh, this is kind of fun. I kind of like this. That's how I became an accountant, became a CPA. I like this until I actually got a job at an accounting firm. I thought, this job is horrible. Every 6 minutes, I had to write down what I was doing. The best guy in the office was the dumbest guy in the office. They liked him more because per client, he made more per client than I did. So the better I got, the more work I did for the same amount of money. That didn't make any sense to me. When I had my review, my boss said to me, well, Debbie, you know, your billing per client is much lower than Tony's. I go, yeah, because Tony's stupid. I said, you know, I could take longer, but then the clients wouldn't like that. I was 25 years old. And I said, why don't we charge a flat rate? Then everybody knows what they're going to pay. You don't have to argue with the clients. Well, I don't think it should have taken you that long. This is what it costs. They either say yay or nay. I got a part-time job in an accounting firm. I walked in and I said, where are your computers? Oh, we don't have computers. You don't have computers? Why not? Well, we couldn't charge the clients as much then. What? I thought, this profession stinks. So it was April 16th. It was a Friday, 1982, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm looking down at the tax return. I'm looking at the street. We're exhausted. So I said, can we go home? My boss says, Ron, no, I pay you to sit there. I thought, I can't sit here like this for another 40 years, wishing for Friday at 5. I cannot do it. And I looked down at that tax return. It was a Mary Kay sales director, and she was making 4 times what I was selling makeup. My mom was a gym teacher. I knew nothing about makeup. But I liked her. And I called her up and I said, Valerie, I couldn't help but notice how much you make. How do you do that? Oh, come with me to a meeting. So I went to a Mary Kay sales director's Mary Kay meeting. Those ladies are having fun. They're happy. And then one woman stood up and she goes, I made $5,000 this month. This was in 1982. You made $5,000? Wow. I sat there, wow. And so I looked at Valerie and said, could I do that? She goes, can you read? Can you learn? I said, well, my mom said I was too stupid to do math, and I became a CPA. Yeah, I can do that. Do what I tell you to do, and you'll have a car in a year. And she was right. I had the pink Cadillac. I got the mink coat. I got the diamond bumblebees. And then computers came out, and I started, I really like these better. So I started to do computers. And then I got a job in a law firm teaching computers to attorneys. And then one day, my boss comes in, she goes, we're doing away with your department. That morning, I had a job. That afternoon, I did not. I started dating Hal a month earlier. And when I met him, I said, what do you do? Of course, I talked to him on the phone. And I said, well, what do you do? How are you? I put an ad on the internet, by the way, to find a boyfriend. That was the title, I Want a Boyfriend. I had a date every night for a year. And the next one was going to be the best one. And he called me up, and I said, so what do you, well, I have a car, I buy a new car every year, I have a boat, I have a motorcycle, I go on vacation all the time, and and he lived 50 miles away from me. Well, how old are you? Well, I'm 55. He was 10 years older than me, and I thought, oh, there's nothing I like about this guy. But I promised myself I would meet everyone, because, they all look good on paper, and then you meet them and they stink. So, well, maybe he looks bad on paper, and he'd be nice. I got dinner. So then I said to him, what do you do? Oh, I have my own tax and accounting firm. Oh, it's probably really boring. And then I said, well, what's your name? Oh, my name is Hal Hickey. Oh, my God, Hal Hickey, what a horrible name. There was nothing I liked about this guy. But I met him, and I thought, this guy's decent, he's kind, his fingernails are clean, and he has his own teeth. What more could I want? So a month into dating, I lost that job at that law firm, and I called him up and I said, guess what, I don't have a job anymore. He goes, well, you're a CPA, why don't you work for me until you find something you like better? I said, okay, but only if I can run an accounting practice like I think it should be run. Flat rate billing. Clients are going to know in advance what they're paying for. I'm going to use all the technology available that's out there. I'm going to be a pro-forward thinker instead of reactive thinker. I'm going to take the information that they tell me and say, here's what we know, here's where we're going to go. That's how my dad did it. My dad was a teacher that became a business manager. I'm the oldest of 4. I had violin lessons, piano lessons. I went to Girl Scout camp every summer, church camp, be ready 2 weeks every summer at Long Beach Island, dinner on the table every night, and new school clothes every year on a teacher's salary. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I lived in a beaver cleaver house. My brothers and my sister had the same thing. He did it on a teacher's salary because he knew how to manage his money. To me, that was what accountants did. So when I got into the profession, I go, we're not doing that at all. We're asking, where's the receipt? Who cares? I didn't like auditing. I'd have to bother people. Well, I need the receipt from 2 years ago to make sure you put it in the right period. I get what auditing is. I get the importance of it. It wasn't for me. And who likes the tax guy? So I thought, I want to be different. So when I told Hal I wanted to run it like this, and I need this thing called QuickBooks. Of course, he's, like I said, old-fashioned. He's like an accountant, doesn't like to spend money. He goes, QuickBooks? How much does that cost? I go, it's only $500. I can become a QuickBooks Pro advisor. Well, that's a lot of money. I said, well, would you buy me a $1,000 piece of jewelry for my birthday if I wanted it? My birthday was coming up. And he said, sure, you want jewelry? Notice, I don't wear a lot. He wanted me to wear a long fingernail. He wanted me a girly girl. Didn't get that. And he goes, sure, I'll buy you a $1,000 piece of jewelry. Well, it's your lucky day. I want to be a pro advisor, and that's only $500. And I said to him, make you a deal. If it doesn't pay for itself, we will not renew it. And that year, working with him, I made 6 figures. And he goes, wow, this pro advisor thing works. Yeah, because I ran an accounting firm how I thought it should be run. I believed in myself, I believed in what I did, I wanted to make a difference to clients, and I only worked with clients with processes that I wanted to use. And that was 20 plus years ago. You can do that too. So I want you to believe in yourself. That's Hal, by the way. He always says, I never include him in the presentation unless I talk bad about him. But that's him. He's going to be 80 years old. And people come into the office and they go, are you ever going to retire? He goes, no, I love what I do. He loves making a difference in clients' lives. He entertains clients as they sit across the table from him. He likes to go garage sailing, so he's like a bit of a hoarder. So he lets people go shopping in the dining room. And he entertains them while he talks to them. But they really like him, but that's us. And, but that's my contact information. But I want you to start believing in yourself. You can do this. You are great at what you do. Start telling the clients what the transformation you can make for them. I want to thank you for your time. This has been wonderful that I've been asked to speak to you today. Does anybody have any questions? Yes? She wanted to thank me for changing her life. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? No? Well, thank you again for letting me share my hour with you. It's been thoroughly enjoyable. I can now go relax. Okay, sure. Want me to talk some more? Turn my mic off. Oh, no, they didn't. Any other questions? Nobody has a question?
Will you review one more time how you run your accounting firm? No set prices, but no fixed prices, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I do have a minimum. If you want to work with me, it's $850 a month minimum. And when I start talking, well, what do you charge? I said, well, my highest client pays me $6,000. Their eyes like. I said, but based on what we've talked about, you'll probably be more in my lower end range, and that's only $850. That's less than $200 a week. You would pay more than that if you hired somebody in to do this. Oh, I've anchored the price high. When you go buy a car, do they put you in the lowest priced one? No. They put you in the highest one. So then when you go to the finance guy, he says to you, well, you say, I can't afford that in a car. Okay, well, let me take all these things off. Well, I really want that. You go up and you figure out a way to pay for it. People pay for what they want. Price is a smokescreen. It's a way for you to go away. So get past it. So I charge a minimum. Does that answer your question? So what do I do for the minimum price? That's only the bank recs and the credit cards. I don't care how many credit cards they have. I don't care how many bank accounts they have. Why? Because QuickBooks Online kind of does it for me. Because I use rules, I use all the tools that QuickBooks Online has. And I say, oh, do you have a lot of debit card transactions? Yes, I do. Yeah. I mean, I log into their account and I go, oh, good, 3 things to classify. Now, I have gotten the argument a lot of times. Well, I like to put them in by hand because I know they're 100% right. I said, okay, so you have 1,000 transactions. How long will it take you to put it in by hand? Well, it takes me XYZ time. I said, okay, I'm going to use rules. They're going to go in automatically. And then I'm going to review the financials and look to see comparisons. Oh, that looks a little whacked. Let me take a quick look at that, where that went. Oh, look, $10,000 to Office Depot. Hey, client, what did you buy? Oh, I bought $10,001 pencils. Okay, expense. Or I bought a $10,000 computer. Okay, asset. I reviewed the financials. So there's 2 mistakes that were there that I reclassify. How long did that take me? 30 minutes if I had to stop for a couple cups of coffee? Versus sitting there and make sure it's 100% inaccurate from the get-go? It's still an expense. So I use all the tools that QuickBooks allows me. Then I start adding sales tax, payroll, workers' comp audits, all that, the task list. If they need reports for the loan, all of that comes into the scope. Now, if they want something like my $6,000 guy, that includes it all. He wants something special, he gets it. Every single one of my clients has my cell phone number. Every one of them. They can call me at any time. Any day, any time, all the time. Do I need to answer it? No. If I get a text, thanks. I have one little hairdresser. She texts me her daily sales every day. I just write, thanks. She knows I'm there. I get back to them. I see you called. How can I help? I return the phone calls after 4 o'clock every day. I don't interrupt my day to get to their question, but I do respond. That's what they care about. Not the answer, the response. I always answer with a smile. Glad you called. What can I do for you? How's your day? I learn about them. How was that birthday party you went to? You see what I mean? They are people to me. This is not a business to business. It's people to people. They are people. Get to know them as people. I think that's my secret sauce. I also learn their name. I'm very big on learning names. If you notice, I go around, I met Priyanka, who was an award winner last night. I met her in the elevator coming up. And I said, okay, what's your name? I introduced her all around. We're like best friends now. Learn people's names. It's your secret sauce.